Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Tuesday market review. Out here, we're going to be taking a look at all things crypto today. Going to try and keep it in around 10 minutes. Not too much to talk about today. Going to keep it short and simple. A very compact market review today. If you do like what you see in the video today and my thoughts, you can join me in the Wealth Group Discord. Link is at the top of the description. We'll be running a discount very soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. All right, let's get into the video. Before we start, I just wanted to remind you that this video is for informational purposes only and reflects my personal views. It is not financial advice, and please always consult a qualified financial advisor before making investment decisions. Right, BTC going for a little bit of a pullback right now, which we'll get onto shortly. Good point to do a market review as we traded into all-time high. Something I quickly want to comment on is the others chart. So if you are a regular here on the YouTube or follow me in the Discord, you know that I've been very much adamant that swing longing altcoins is just not viable, at least like a long-term spot on things, unless there's a good narrative floating around. I don't think like being a long-term spot buy on a lot of altcoins. And let me clarify this, outside of the top 10, right here we're looking at the others market cap. So the others is the crypto total market cap excluding the top 10. So, you know, we're not looking at those high caps, those majors like Sol, BNB, XRP, Bitcoin and ETH, which, you know, I've been very bullish on lately. But when we discuss like swing longing altcoins, you know, this is clear why, right? Altcoins are clearly weak. We've got the others chart, which is currently still 34% below all-time high, right? And then when we take a look at the total market cap soaring, you know, new highs after new highs. We look at total 2 again, is starting to peak, or did peak back in August above the 2021 highs, and then you know, total 3 excluding BTC and ETH making new highs, right? And then you look at others and we're trading 33% below. This is very telling. Like, a lot of the altcoin market still remains very weak, and we're going to need to see a good breakout from Ethereum for us to target that 500 bill total market cap for the others, right? So focus on day trading these altcoins. Don't get caught up trying to swing long altcoins when, you know, they remain weak. Like, this structure on the others chart is not fantastic right now. It's bearish structure to me. If we do see ETH break out to like above 5k into price discovery, sure, we could definitely see that, you know, 200 bill added to the others, and we get like sort of like a mini alt season, right? But right now, just focus on day trading altcoins and swinging like majors, like strong majors. Yeah, just don't get caught up trying to go fully risk on altcoins. Even though BTC and ETH have been trading well, it's not a exact ideal scenario to be piling into spot on alts just yet, right? Wait for BTC and ETH to confirm the price discovery breakouts, and then from there we can look at buying into altcoins. I just wanted to comment on that because I see a lot of people, you know, getting FOMO with altcoins and not understanding why altcoins are not trading so well. And this sort of brings me on to dominance as well, right? So dominance is below 60% right now, which is great in terms of the market seeing some relief and a breathing by itself without being worried about what Bitcoin is doing. This dominance retest into 60% on the weekly is very important, because this will basically tell us whether, you know, a reclaim above 60% on dominance, we're going to likely be spiking back towards that 64% region. And even from there, you know, if things start to escalate a lot, like dominance could go back to 70%. But if we do see a breakout from ETH, right, let's say this is that 5k ETH level, right? If we do see a breakout from ETH above 5k, and in doing so a sort of breakdown from dominance and BTCD starts to weaken, this can be that period that I just discussed, right, where we see a really nice window of opportunity from altcoins, and we could probably add like 200 billion to the altcoin market, right? And we see like a very nice window of opportunity in Q4 for altcoins, and the others chart like break into new highs, right? So this is like ideal scenario for altcoins to break out, and this is sort of the scenario you want to watch out for us to start risking on spot portfolio in a lot of altcoins, right? But until we see dominance start to reject from here, ETH break 5k, you know, this period of trading for the others chart is not going to happen, right? Despite BTC be trading in, you know, under all-time high right now. Just be a little bit cautious of dominance like potentially invalidating this like bearish setup and spiking up. But otherwise, if things start to go to plan in Q4, we could see an ETH breakout with following BTC, like BTC also breaking out, but mostly that dominance breakdown with the ETH breakout. That's what's going to give us that 200 pil and do the crypto market cap, excluding the top 10, right? So now to discuss BTC, overall all-time high breaks have been very lackluster in terms of Bitcoin, apart from the November break. I just wanted to highlight like how Bitcoin has traded around prior all-time high breaks over the past 2 years. We can see that, that 2021 all-time high break eventually led to a big flag, and each of these all-time high breaks happened in a different period with maybe a different narrative and a different reason for breaking that all-time high. So with that in mind, we have to consider like the different factors that there might have been for this all-time high break to this one, right? This was the Trump all-time high break. Anyway, we can see that when BTC broke all-time high in that 2021, we went into like a flag, right? Equally here, we went for that all-time high break, sort of like sold off at least, what was that sell off? 9% sell off on BTC. Then we got the official all-time high break here, which was the Trump move. And then what we had formed the local high, right? Formed a local high. Then that local high was formed into a new all-time high from BTC. We can see what happened. Price sold off, right? Again here, that was a new local high, the new all-time high for BTC. Eventually that was broken in June. Same thing happens again. We don't get that true like price discovery breakout. Price sells off again here. Got that break into June. BTC broke all high, formed a local high, flagged, right? Again here, BTC formed a local high, broke the high, all-time high retest, ended up flagging, and now we're doing the exact same thing, right? So with that in mind, we have to consider the fact that these all-time high breaks haven't actually been a place where price goes on to do some sort of like parabolic increase, right? A lot of the time what we do see is a pullback on BTC, a bit of a sell-off, a retracement before it eventually legs up again, right? So this is what we're going to discuss, a potential place where BTC can pull back to if we're going to do something similar. Obviously what like the best case scenario for people that are positioned on this is that we just go into like a sidelined rally, right? And BTC just rips to the upside and doesn't give everyone that pullback that people are looking for. But for someone that is sidelined and is looking to get in, then we're going to discuss a pullback scenario for BTC right now. So we are on support on BTC. On the daily support, we're sort of like putting in an SR flip right now. We had 6 daily candles in a row, all green, which is a pretty aggressive move. The last time we had something like that was basically back in November, which equally was a really aggressive move. So a little bit of a cool off and maybe some consolidation up here, wouldn't hurt anybody. We peaked at 126k, but we are pulling back into this prior all-time high retest, right? And if we look at the 4 hour, quite a nice support for it. So what I want to discuss is the current sort of bearish structure on BTC right now. When we have this like 1, 2, 3 drives into the high, followed by decrease in momentum on both the awesome oscillator and the RSI. So if this bearish setup actually fails to like break price down towards like 120k, I'm fairly sure this is just going to continue to grind up and expand higher, right? Probably towards that 128 to 132 region. Like invalidating bearish structure like this with the momentum basically shaking off that lower time frame momentum can be very bullish for price. After all, we are on support here. It's a good place to hold. Maybe this is a good way to trap some bears, right? But now let's say this does lead to a sell-off, right? Where are we going to go? So we're probably going to be looking at a first place of support back towards that 120k region. We will double check this with the VWAP values as well to see whether we have any key values below. But let's just say this bearish setup does lead to a breakdown on BTC, then we're looking at 120, right, down to 118. And from there, that's like a must hold region, right? If we don't hold into this area, BTC, let's look at the daily, right? The daily doesn't hold into this retest here and we start to deviate below, that's going to be nasty, right? A nasty deviation for BTC, and we go back inside this range, right? And we have to consider what comes next for the market, right? Especially in Q4. If we can't get a breakout in Q4, we have to figure out what's coming next, right? But for now, this looks good to continue trending, whether it's from here or whether it's from a move into 120 to 118. We're going to look at the lower time frame and consider an entry. But keep in mind that if we do hold here and we invalidate this bearish structure, I mean, things will go on to just trend pretty harshly for BTC, right? But be wary of this structure right now. It's 4 hour structure. Historically, we can see back here as well. Not the best structure to try and long into on the RSI on the 4 hour. So looking at the VWAP values, we're looking at retesting back towards the prior weekly value or high here. We've done a similar move back into Monday, Tuesday last week, right? where we had that weekly open drive into on Monday above the prior weekly value. We came back down to retest the prior weekly value into Tuesday, bottom Tuesday, and then we continue to leg up. So we're sort of doing something similar here, right? We had that weekly open drive on the Monday, coming back down, testing the prior weekly value. So now we start to consider, do we look for longs into here, right? Into this prior weekly value area high. Right now we're looking at trading back inside the developing monthly value as well. So we could even spike as low as that developing monthly VWAP around 121.350. I am starting to get some buy signals coming in for BTC here. It could potentially lead on to at least, like I said, 121.300. I'm currently long on BTC from 119.900 with already 2 TPs taken on this, and my stop is in profit just below 122. So back to what I was saying, right? We've got two scenarios here. We're looking for long into sort of like 120, basically from here into 121. If this fails to hold, then I'm looking for a deeper pullback into like 118, right? So the first place to look for a reversal is basically coming up now. Now I have some buy signals coming in. I'm going to keep an eye on a BTC long, basically anywhere from here down to that developing monthly VWAP at 21,300. We're going to be looking for a long reversal into here for some continuation this week. Fail to hold there, then we're going to be targeting a move back much lower down to 118s, and things could get ugly for the altcoin market. Really to start wrapping it up, ETH trading under all-time high and also under range high, a big area for ETH. Big rejection today. Overall, I would like the look of an ETH long down towards 4,500. I think that's a pretty good spot for ETH to hold. Q3 value area high into 4,500, prior monthly value area high, and also the developing monthly VWAP, and also the prior weekly value area high. So if we get a deeper flush into there, that looks like a good spot. That would also align with giving me a buy signal on the weekly. A buy signal into 4,500 looks like the best place for fresh ETH longs right now. Equally, BTC, like I said, just under 122 for fresh longs. Currently long from 3,900 on ETH spot or Q4, looking at selling at some point. Already took TP1 last week on ETH, and my stop is flat on this position. So congrats to anyone that's been playing this ETH spot position with me. We've been discussing this a lot here on my channel. Finally, some altcoins that I'm looking at. Hype, looking for a sweep under 44 to get long, again using my new system, which I'm teaching in Wealth Group for fresh buys. Pump, looking for a sweep under 0.006 for a long. This should coincide with ETH and BTC both going for those sweeps I just discussed. XPL currently in spot, looking to add to spot below 1.83. You can watch my chart from blank video from last week on my XPL thoughts. All my thoughts are there for XPL and the spot position I'm currently looking at taking, or am in and looking at adding to. ZEC, I've got some buy signals coming in for this already. I do like the look of this for a bottom soon. Nice call off since the highs, 30% down, historically a good opportunity to buy strong trending coins, like a 30 to 50% pullback in strong trending markets. Again, looking to coincide this long with a BTC and ETH long. Last one is BNB. Took a short on this today in the Wealth Group Discord and already took TP1. Was showing me some signs of exhaustion, but this is super strong at the moment. BNB is one of the strongest trading coins. Wouldn't mind getting long back down towards maybe 170 to 1. 260 if we get a good opportunity. That's pretty much going to do it for this week's chart. That's everything for this week's Tuesday market review. Just to quickly summarize, personally looking for some longs into sort of like a 122, basically from here to 122 on BTC, looking for some longs if I get a good buy trigger on there. Otherwise, I think we're going to go much deeper into 120 to 118, which at this point things start to get a little bit scary for bulls if we can't hold there. Remember what I said about the all-time high breakouts historically have not been a like parabolic break like we saw in November. A lot of the time we do see price sell off from there, and others looking for a good altcoin breakout if ETH can flip 4,700 and dominance starts to break down. Make sure you check out the socials in the link below, and I will see you guys tomorrow on Twitch for my live stream of Impulse. Catch you then. Bye bye.